to the second Manifesting Abundance video show. I am your show's host, and my name is Kathryn Yarborough. And the intention for this show is to support those of us who are creating our lives by design, learning about the law of attraction and manifestation. And I want the show to be fun, interesting, educational, and entertaining. And so today I am here solo. And if any guests decide to ask questions, that would be wonderful. My intention was for this to be a time for people to ask questions about the law of attraction and manifestation. And what I'm going to do actually is in a few minutes, I'm going to talk about whether or not the law of attraction really works. In fact, I'm going to connect to the divine. I'm going to invoke or invite divine wisdom to come through me about whether or not the law of attraction really works. I'm curious about what will come through, and then I'll also share some of my own experiences with that question. And before we do that, what I want to do is just share with you that it's my intention for now to do this Manifesting Abundance video show on Mondays and Thursdays at 1 o'clock Eastern Time in the U.S. and 10 a.m. Pacific Time. And that should be 6 o'clock in London. And I believe it'll be in the middle of the night for those of you in Australia. So, or early in the morning, really early in the morning. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know about when I'm going to be doing the show, and I will be having guests usually here. In fact, on Thursday, I'm going to be interviewing my good friend and colleague, Sue Fitzmaurice, and she's a really cool woman. She is a person who very much is creating her life by design. She's an online entrepreneur. She's been traveling around the globe. She's so cool. I love reading about what she's up to. And I think she'll be calling in from the UK. She was born in New Zealand, and she's actually going to visit me in a few weeks here in Florida in the United States. So anyway, I'm excited about that. That is happening this Thursday, July 23rd. And if you're listening to the replay, it's my intention to have all the replays up on my website. So you can go to my website at flowingwithchange.com and then click the videos link or /videos to, flowingwithchange.com /videos to see links to replays and different things. And I'll be sharing them and writing little bits about them in my blog. So, lots of ways to be connected and to stay motivated to use the law of attraction. And so just so you know a little bit about me, I started learning about the law of attraction probably 20 to 30 years ago. And in around 2006, I was inspired to call myself a manifestation coach. And this was right around when The Secret was coming out, though it hadn't hit big time. I hadn't heard about it I didn't hear about it for a couple of years. And maybe actually it came out a couple of years later afterwards. But anyway, I started teaching people about manifestation and the law of attraction. I started coaching people. I slowly became specialized in working with heart-based entrepreneurs. I absolutely love working with heart-based entrepreneurs. And so I am coaching them now, and I am creating something called the Flow Group that's going to start in August of this year for the first time. And it's going to be a year journey for people who are wanting support for the journey of consciously creating their lives by design. So what I want to do here is share with you this question, does the law of attraction really work? And as I said earlier, what I'm going to do is just tune into the divine. I'm going to do a few deep breaths. I'm going to tune in. I'm going to see what comes through. I'm probably going to close my eyes and when I do this, so that's easier for me to do. So you can breathe with me if you'd like. And then after I do that and get some sort of answer that way, I'll also share some of my own thoughts about does the law of attraction work, and my own experiences for myself and with my clients and the people I've worked with over the years. So join me in taking a few deep breaths here. If you want to close your eyes, that would be great. And as I connect with the divine, asking the question, does the law of attraction really work? And I'm going to just sort of like channeling, whatever comes through me, I'm going to share with you what comes through me to this about this question. And what's coming through is yes. So the law of attraction does work. It is always working. People are always attracting to them the image is like we're always attracting to us. So the law of attraction is always working. But we're not usually or often, people are not usually or often conscious about this process. And so those of us who are understanding and learning about the law of attraction, we're getting better at being conscious about this process. So really, it's amazing. I'm feeling, sensing, seeing this image that we are each like just magnets, and really unconscious magnets. Everything that's coming to us, it's like we're just like pulling it to us. So the question, does the law of attraction really work? What we're really asking is when a human being is being intentional, is learning about using the law of attraction and manifestation, and is being intentional, does that really work? Is really what the question is. That's what I'm getting. And I would agree with that. That's what we're really asking. So I'm getting, so for some people, yes, and for some people, no. And the people for whom it works, those people who are intentional, they're more in their feelings, which we've all been learning about, that feelings are really important. But what's coming through is that they're more in their feelings and in their energy. So people who do that, who are more in their feelings and in their energy when they're intentional with the law of attraction, are more like 70% working at most people, this is 90% of people I'm getting, who are using the law of attraction or learning about it. They're doing it with their head. They're doing it, it's like they're trying, or they're working really hard to use it. And so it's so it doesn't work. In other words, people don't actually attract what they're intentionally wanting to attract. So in other words, about the question, does the law of attraction work? Yes, so I'm sort of summarizing right now what I've just gotten as a download. So we are always a magnet. I mean, I'm just seeing the magnet that we each are. It's amazing. Everything that's coming to us, we've attracted to us. But so really what the question is, you know, when a person is asking, does the law of attraction work? We're really asking, um, does it, if I'm using it intentionally, will it work for me, kind of thing. And the response that I'm getting is that for about, actually I think it's 90% of the people are learning how to use it, and we're not using it very effectively. And then so I guess 10% are more effective. There was something about 70%. I can't remember the exact numbers, but anyway, it seemed like 70 are that of that 10%, you know, they're in their feelings and energy 70% of the time. I think that's what it was. And so they're using that, their feelings and their energy, and that's where we're most effective. So it's like, if you want to get more effective with using the law of attraction, then you have to really, it's like a sinking into your feelings and sinking into the energy field. So let me tune in, and let me ask for divine guidance about how we can more effectively use the law of attraction. So I'm asking that question: how can we more effectively use the law of attraction? So what's coming through is that we have to quit trying so hard and begin to observe how it is already working. So I'm getting like images, thoughts about um, noticing how at some point you felt something, and you felt as if it was happening or going to happen, and it did come, and you did manifest it. So I'm getting a really, really strong message about noticing it. And again, this could be just for me, but I'm guessing it's for anybody who's watching this, anybody who's listening to this, to really practice noticing what is coming into your life, and how you attracted it into your life. So once again, I'll ask this question: how can we more effectively use the law of attraction? So I'm getting the answer: quit trying so hard. So lots of images are coming to me. So I'm going to ask again for clarification. What do you mean about quit trying so hard? So what I'm getting is that it's a qualitative feeling. So there's a way to be using the law of attraction where it feels like you're pushing, trying, pushing. It actually feels like pushing against the wall. It's it's almost like um, it's almost, I think this is what the feeling is. The feeling is that you're clear, you're asking for what you want, you say what you want, you're affirming it, you know, you're saying, I want it, but equally, you're experiencing that it's not going to happen. And this may be less conscious, but it's there. And so the feeling is this pushing feeling. So what I'm getting is to release that pushing feeling and to see it happening, feel it happening, and that's it. Just don't work it, just feel it, see it and feel it, and release. It's like this easy flow, easiness about it. Cool, huh? Okay. All right, so this is fun. I like this. I like this channeling, asking questions and channeling. It's really fun. So what I want to do now is take a few minutes and just share my own thoughts about, does the law of attraction really work? Of course, you know, personally, I think the answers that come through are so much more valid, truly. However, from person to person, I am a human being. I have been working with the law of attraction for years and years, and one of the things that I teach is that we can use these tools, and I teach 7 steps to manifest anything, and use these tools to manifest as if we're riding or driving, I guess is a better word, a boat that has a motor, like a motorboat through the water. Like we can force our way with them. We can work actually, and this is interesting considering what was just coming through before, but I do believe we can really push ourselves to shift our vibration and focus on what we want and hold that thought as if it's happening very forcefully. And in some cases that can be very helpful for us. It stretches us. But in general, what I teach is that we learn how to do it as if we're in a sailboat. I'm not sure if we call it driving a sailing. I guess it's sailing a sailboat. So without a motor, and we're going with the wind. And I think of the wind as the divine. And this is my perspective, that this is what I want for me and what I would love for the people I work with. I would love for all of us to work with the divine. And so if the divine is the wind and also the water currents, that we're working with these bigger forces. So there's something bigger than just our own individual desires. So when we're in the motorboat, manifesting as if we're driving a motorboat, it's like the rest of the world doesn't matter. You know, the bigger desires, the bigger picture doesn't matter. But when we're in the sailboat and we're manifesting, we're working with all that is. We're much more in touch with the natural forces, and in some ways, I think it's harder when we're manifesting as if we're in the motorboat. We're manifesting what we think we want. You know, like I want a new car that I love, and I want a home that has all my cool stuff in it that I really love. So those sorts of things. I want 30 new members to join the flow group. Those are all things that my head wants. Okay. And if I were to manifest them as if I was driving the motorboat, I would focus on those things. But it's my intention to keep connecting to the divine and manifesting what is highest for me, for all humans, for all life on this planet, for all that is everywhere. So that is my intention. And so that's like riding or sailing a sailboat. And And so in some ways, it's both easier because you get the support of the divine and you don't have to keep putting gas into it. I mean, it's free support. And it's harder because you have to, it's what you're manifesting doesn't just come from here. You have to open up to something bigger and this divine guidance. So for example, I mean, the reason why one of the reasons why I'm creating the flow group and launching it the first week of August, and we'll see what happens with it. I'm actually very committed to it, is that a couple of months ago, I mean, I've been thinking about it for a while, and a couple of months ago, let me just step back. It's based on this 7-step shift into flow, and teaching people the 7-step shift into flow so that when they're in that place of flow, they're receiving the divine guidance. This is all connected. It's amazing. They're receiving their divine guidance and they're flowing with the currents of what wants to happen through them. And so a few months ago, I got really clear, or I got clear guidance that I need to teach these 7 steps to people. And I thought, well, maybe I'll try it this way, I'll try it that way, these different ways. But I've finally settled down into this year-long process. When people join the flow group, they'll go through this year-long process that will help them to be able, by the end, to consistently, hopefully, is my hope, to use the 7-step shift into flow. And so anyway, I got this divine guidance, and so I knew that was the next thing to do. And then the other thing that I started to get was that I needed to do some sort of show like this. Wasn't sure if it was going to be a video show or a teleseminars or a blog talk radio. I kept going around in my head, but I needed to have a show where I would interview people. Because most of the time, I'm not going to be here solo. I'm going to be interviewing people. So anyway, I got the divine guidance. And when we're sailing the sailboat and we're feeling those flows, and as I'm going to be teaching in this flow group, we're doing that shift, which helps us to be in the place where we're going with the divine and our higher self. Then we receive guidance about what to do. And it's about tuning into it, listening to it, and opening to, the best way to do it. Like I was talking about what's the best way to do it. And sometimes we have to use our head. We can only, we get as much as we get from the divine, and maybe it's all the details and maybe it's just some of them. So anyway, it's interesting, these 2 different ways. So in terms of, does the law of attraction work? What is my experience? I have experience in the past being like a motorboat and using the law of attraction and manifesting thriving practice, an abundant income. And it was effortful. And I am more and more sailing my sailboat, if you will, if I use the metaphor, tuning into the divine. And in this way, it's more like things feel miraculous. It's like, oh, wow, I've been thinking that. I just felt that. I just have the image of that, and boom, it shows up. So that's really cool. And this is what I believe in, and that's my, for now, preferential way of manifesting. And so, it doesn't even seem like I'm efforting the law of attraction. It's not even like I'm trying to use the law of attraction. It's just, and this is interesting, like in the image that came to me at the very beginning, it's just, oh, I'm attracting to me. And so I have a thought and boom, it comes. So anyway, yes, I believe the law of attraction is working. And I do believe it's helpful to learn how to drive the motorboat, like that's a step in the journey. And it's kind of like learning anything. There's effort involved. And so, you know, as the divine or whatever it was that was talking, giving me answers to the question early, that sense of pushing, you know, maybe that sense of pushing is one of the steps, you know, in our human process, in our human journey of learning how to work with the law of attraction. There's nothing wrong with it. Um, so, you know, we're on this journey. Yeah, and you're here. You're learning about it. You're learning about it through my talking. You're learning about through your own practice, which is the best way to learn about the law of attraction. And so just you know, best way to understand it is we are always sending out a vibration through our thoughts, through our feelings, through our actions, through all that we are, and as what was coming through. A big thing is the feelings and your energy. Um, it's like it was very feeling very like deep in our consciousness is what's we're really sending out and what's coming to us. So, you know, working to get down into our depths feels really important, so that we're congruent with what the vibration is. So if you want to intentionally use the law of attraction, you need to feel as if it's happening. And it's interesting, I've taught that, you know, like feel as if it's happening now. That's part of the effort part when we're efforting to feel as if it's happening now, because that's part of the learning. But what I'm getting is that it's, you know, if you're manifesting something for tomorrow or the future, which is really what we're doing, we're manifesting something for the future, see it as if it is definitely going to happen when it's going to happen, whatever it is, whether it's having a new car or 30 people signing up for the flow group. Maybe it's 10 people who sign up for the flow group. So you see it as if it's definitely happening, and feel as if it's definitely happening whenever it's going to happen. So interesting. I don't know if this is making sense to you, but anyway, I'm Kathryn Yarborough, if you don't already realize that. And this is the Manifesting Abundance Show. I'm going to be here on Mondays and Thursdays in the U.S. time. It's 1 p.m. on the East Coast and 10 a.m. on the other side, the West Coast, over in California, and all over there, and you can figure out your time in between. And if you'd like to stay connected, visit my website at flowingwithchange.com. Sign up for my e-list if you are not already on it. There's different places where you can do that, and I do different events. I'll be doing some webinars next month as I promote my flow group, so I hope you'll join me for one of those. And this Thursday in our next show, my guest is going to be Sue Fitzmaurice from New Zealand. And as I said before, she is a really, really, really cool woman who is definitely manifesting or creating her life by design. So thank you so much for joining me. I think that's all that I want to say here today. Namaste, my friends. Blessings on your journey.